driving cross countries, getting ball tires, fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do that. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro. Lights, camera, action, 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 action. Let's go. From the start to the finish, go hard and we win in this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Friday night edition of the Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the bearded villains of Brotherhood. Hey, we are on episode 239, and this is the last day of January 2025. It is January 31st. As I said, you are back here again for episode 239. We are already we are just about 10 episodes away from halfway between, I can't believe it. Halfway to 300 from 200. That's what I meant to say. But anyway, we're almost halfway through our next 100. That's crazy, guys. That is crazy. But hey, I'm excited. A few different things I'm excited for today. Because this is another one of those shows. Who knows where it's going to go, how long it's going to be. Probably not going to be a super long show. Probably maybe half of what it typically is. We'll see how it goes. I've got a little bit of merch stuff left over from weeks past to talk about. I also have something that if you've been paying attention to BV Instagram in the last several hours or half day or whatever it's been, there was a new thing that popped out. I had not seen it yet, and I don't know where it has been, but there's a new song that references BV that was written and created by a brother outside of the U.S., I'll say, and it is very cool. I like it a lot, and I'm surprised that I had not seen it before. I don't know where in the world it has been. It's been around for about 3 months out already. And I was a little bit surprised to hear about this thing. And I was like, what, huh? Huh? But one of our brothers over in Norway created this thing. And So anyway, I was trying to, when I found out about it right away, I was trying to get him on the show, see how quickly I could get him on the show. Cause I want to hear the story. I want to hear how'd this come about and learn a little bit about some other stuff he's up to. And it's, I don't know. It's coming up right now. It's coming up on probably 2:00 in the morning where he is. So that wasn't going to work for tonight, but I believe I'm going to get him on next week. So we'll see. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. But I hope everybody is having a fantastic Friday. It's cool and rainy here. We can start to kind of see spring wanting to kind of peek through a little bit. So if you paid attention to the thumbnail for this week's episode, you'll notice that I used a groundhog on it. And there's actually a couple of reasons why I chose that, and we'll get into the other later. But I just thought, with Groundhog Day here in the U.S., I think we're one of the only countries that actually, I don't know if you call it celebrates Groundhog Day, but accepts Groundhog Day or recognizes it. But that's coming up this weekend. So I don't know. We'll, I guess, but since we are, it just seemed fitting to put that on the thumbnail for tonight's episode, but also for another reason, and I'll get into in a few minutes. But so, yeah, but the winters, it seems like we really, so far been decent with the weather, and the fact that we're already to the end of January, and usually here in northern Indiana we get slammed with a few more snowstorms of decent proportion, especially here in the snow belt where I live. Before the winter is actually done, but we can kind of see it. We've had get teased with a couple of days this week with some temperatures in the high 40s, and that was kind of nice because it was one of those weird days where you start with the sun out and the temperature getting back up there. It's just one of those, there's a smell in the air that just smells a little bit differently and almost springy, but not quite springy. And if you know what I mean, it's just a weird thing, but it's kind of a tease. I'm sure we're going to get a lot more a lot more cold temps and stuff, but hey, we can hope for the best. But there's all sorts of crazy goings on in the world right now, especially here in the states, and you just don't know what to make of it, right? I don't care when, and this show we don't do politics. We don't do politics, but and I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. But it's just a weird world we're in right now here in the states, and we just you deal with it, and so we look for an escape. We look for something to focus on, something positive, something to cheer for, something to be happy about. And sometimes those things are hard to find. As you know, sometimes those things are hard to find. So I hope that this show, as often as it can continue to celebrate the things that our brothers are doing. And even though we don't have a lot of brothers out there doing anything right now, specifically only because of I think it's mostly because of the weather. Once the weather starts to get a little nicer, you see chapters out doing all sorts of crazy stuff and really cool stuff to help people out and themselves. But I'm excited to get to the point where we're going to start doing that again. My chapter as well, and we've got some things planned, and I'm just excited for that. So we want this show to celebrate all of the happiness. We want you to be able to come to here either on a live stream on a Friday night or listening to it on a regular podcast platform at another time. For this to be an escape, rather something away from the dull and kind of dreary world that we live in sometimes, and the negative space, the negativity that we face from all of us, all over the world, and it just comes and creeps into our life sometimes, and if we're not careful, it can weigh us down. So let's. I hope that we can focus on more of that positivity and celebrating what we're doing and what our brothers are doing out there in the world to make it a really cool thing. So um, but hey, right now I want to give a quick shout out to some of our brothers who are here with us live, hanging out with us. And I knew that me mentioning just the mere mention of some of these things that we're waiting for some things to happen might spur some comments in the comments section. And I did not miss. I was not disappointed because some of our brothers decided to pop in and say something about some events coming up, which I expected them to do. So I'm very excited about that. And we'll share that in just a second. But hey, let's give a shout out to everybody that is here with us live tonight. Demian, what's up? He says, hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope everyone is doing well. Yes, sir. We are doing well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mr. Rob. We got a man. It just feels like a long time since I've hung out with Rob. So I look forward to it, man. Is it? I think he mentioned something about is it road trip season anytime soon? Yeah, it feels like it, man. It feels like it should have been a long time ago. But thank you for hanging out with us as well. Hey, Shifty, how you doing? Good evening, gentlemen. He says, good evening to you, good sir. I hope things are well up in Michigan. A mere stone's throw away from my house. Well, but not the part that you're living in. You're further away from me than that. But he says, hey, I hope you guys ever had a fantastic Friday. Yes. And he means it too, because it's in all caps. He types it. Mr. Elevated Gray, how are you? Good, sir. Good evening, brothers, he says. Yes, sir. Good evening to you. Volbard for us. I am probably not pronouncing that correctly. He says, have a good middle of the night, brothers. Yes, you too. I don't know if you're still hanging around or if that was a sign off and you were saying good night. But if you're hanging out with us, even for a few minutes, we appreciate you for being here tonight. Buddy is hanging out with us as well. Good evening, Buddy. Good evening, everybody. And I'm seeing over here to my other side that I'm getting a message from Buddy right now. He's sharing some information with me. So when I get to that part of the evening, maybe I'll run over and look over into my phone and see what he's sending me. Or Buddy, if you want to, you can just, if you're listening still live, you can toss it into the chat here, and I can make sure I mention it here in just a few minutes. He asked, this is the comment. Rob said, is it road trip season yet? Man, I wish it were. I wish it were. Feels like it should be for sure. Mr. Rob Fedez, what's up? Good evening, y'all. Popping in to say hello. I love y'all. Having a date night with the wife. Hey, all right. So we don't expect you to be here long unless you've already disappeared already. But hey, we appreciate you stopping in to say hey. And happy date night, man. You got to enjoy those when you can, for sure. You don't get too many of those once you get the kids. But But or you never know. You never know. I don't know what the plans are, but I hope you enjoy it. Have a good night for sure. All right, so Shifty jumped in when I started making comments about events coming up. Of course, I knew some would pop in, and of course, he came through. So, Shifty up in Michigan, them boys, the Norsemen. February 8th, they have their polar plunge. February 8th should be a good time. Yes, and wet and cold, but yeah, you go enjoy that. My days of polar plunging, I think, are behind me, but we'll see. One day I might be dumb enough to get back in the water again. BVLC over in London starts a month-long charity walk. February 1st for mental health charity. Hey, that's awesome. And I think I remember seeing something on your Instagrams, onto interwebs of your Instagrams where people can donate to stuff. So Rob, make sure that you are sharing that. I'm sure you already are, but make sure you're sharing that and just send me a quick message and I'll make sure I can tell people, at least for next week, if I can't sooner than that, where to start sending some money. Because a month long, we're going to have 4 weeks to be able to have people send money your way to help out with that. That'd be very cool to help out. So thank you all for joining us tonight, man. That's awesome. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Special cheers to those of you who may be home and having an adult beverage tonight. Cheers, cheers. That tastes good. And tonight's selection is the very budget friendly, often sometimes hard to find in the Midwest, is strangely enough hard to find in the Midwest where it's made. The old Buffalo Trace Standard. So one of these days, I'm going to say the right thing on this podcast, and somebody who works for some whiskey company is going to say, "Hey, this little tiny podcast that has a very small viewership and may not benefit us, it may not benefit us, the whiskey company, in any way, shape, or form, but let's have fun with it and let's be a sponsor for them." So that would be awesome. I would love that. I know that no real, it's going to have to be a mom and pop whiskey business. Some distillery that's pretty small is going to be willing to jump in and do that. And even then, they'll probably just like sponsor up with me, and I'll still have to buy all the stuff, and we'll just claim that they're a sponsor one day. We'll see. But right now, it seems like every week I'm sharing a different drink, and we're sharing in a beverage, and I'm just giving a shout out to random distilleries and companies that are far greater than the knowledge of them even having a clue about this show's even existence. So, but cheers. All right. Well, so let's see where we're at in today. I got a few things I want to revisit merch wise, and then I want to talk a little bit about a song that came across the BV interwebs. Like I said, it's been out for like 3 months. I don't know how this happens, and it wasn't shared over here in the States. Now I understand that maybe over in Norway it was shared around, and I don't know if that translates to all of that side of the world in the BV world. I don't know if that extends over, into all of our countries over there that we always refer to as across the pond, in England and whatnot, and all of those, everything that attaches to that area. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but for the first time I heard about it today, so it did surprise me quite a bit. But it's very cool. And I spoke with the gentleman, Thor, that created it, and gave me permission to share some stuff about it tonight. And then we're going to try and hook up and talk next week for the show. So bring him back on. So yeah, good times, good times. All right. So let's get into some of the merch stuff that we've got. Now, I will say the first thing, of course, is shameless plug. We don't have many of these left. We do not have many of these left. And as a matter of fact, I tried. Last week was the first time that I mentioned that Sweden had their patches out, right? And gave Sweden, they had their patches out. And you know what? They sent out a message earlier this week, just a day or two ago, that they sold out. Now, granted, they have 300 and some guys in their chapter, and there's only 100 patches. So they had a little bit of an advantage there. But we have a much smaller chapter here in Northern Indiana, But I would hope that we can hopefully, maybe make a big push this week and sell the rest of ours out that we have. We have just a handful, a handful ish left over. And so I want to get word out. So if you're interested in one of these patches, or two or three of these patches, hit us up at bvnorthernindiana.org. It's going to be the last grouping of them. And there were only 100 in total made of this variety. So get out there if you like to collect collectible patches. Even if you want to help out and get us some socks, we're already in the process right now. In the next few weeks, we're going to start doing the sock donations and getting out there and actually giving the socks to the community that needs the socks. So I can't wait to share that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I love giving back in that way. But so we'll be able to start doing that just off of the ones that we've already sold. So that's very cool. But we hope to be able to continue to do that all throughout this month and next month. But I'm excited about it. So we'll continue to do that. But like I said, bvnorthernindiana.org, bvnorthernindiana.org. Come get the rest of the ones that we do have still left in stock, because once they're gone, they're gone. And even if you don't want to keep the patch, right? As I said before, one of the coolest things that we can do in the BV community is do like a double swap help thing, right? So when somebody has a charity patch, when the money is going directly to charity causes, if you buy that, right, hold on to it for a little bit, and then maybe you can donate it back to either another auction, or you can donate it back to somebody's silent auction. You can donate it back to somebody's event to raise money for them. And all it costs you is $15, because that's the cost of the patch. But you got to not only donate back to the cause for the patch here, for the sock, but then you were able to donate it back to somewhere else that might be able to raise some money somewhere else. And it's a double whammy, right? It's a very cool way to do things. And so lately, that's kind of the way I've treated things when I've decided to buy. Because I think when you've been in BV long enough, you either love to collect the patches still after very, very many years, or you just hold on to them to do that with it, to donate stuff. And that's where I've been for a while, is that I have a box, and then I have a couple boxes of other patches that I've just collected over the years. And I like to be able to support other chapters when I can, and buy a patch or something. I can't always do it all the time, but it's always nice that I can. And then I don't, behind me, that I have walls of patches behind me, a variety of different patches that I picked up in the first few years, because I'm too lazy to change them out off these boards that I've got behind me. But, after that point, you just, what are you going to do with them all, right? And so you hold on to them, and then I donate them back, unless they're gift patches. Gift patches, of course, you hold on to. But the ones that I buy to help another organization out, another brotherhood, another chapter, whatever it is, hold on to it, and then I try and donate it back, unless I have unless there's a real big tie-in with me personally that I really love about it. So yeah, so I always recommend that. So bvnorthernindiana.org, get out there and grab the last few that we do have. Let me say this, if you live overseas, and the timing of this could not be better, because Volbert Voras just made a comment. Would love to have one. Unfortunately, the shipping costs to Germany are intense. Yes, they can be, but here's what I want to recommend. Okay, check this. And I've done this before, so I would love to do this again. All right. Do me a favor, if you live overseas, if you live in England, if you live in, say, Germany, right? If you live in Norway, if you live in Sweden, wherever you live, if you want to buy a patch or two, or that you have 2 or 3 people that would like to buy a patch or two, let me know, and I will ship them to one location, and you can divvy them out over there. All right? I'll set up a specific pay thing for you. You don't have to pay through the site directly as you would purchase one individual one. I'll set it up with you. I'll verify the shipping cost to make sure that the shipping cost would be okay for you. And you can buy it in bulk. You can buy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, whatever you want to buy. And the only thing you have to do is one shipping cost that you can split amongst everybody that's involved. Makes it much better. So hit me up. Either hit me up here on the show, hit me up on the Northern Indiana IG page, or hit me up on my personal, the Bearded BP page, whatever it is. Just hit me up, and I'll make it work, man. I'll make it work, definitely. Because I don't want the shipping cost to be the issue simply for a patch, right? I don't want that to be a problem. So we will work around that. Just shoot me a message and let me know how many you need to send them to one specific place, and then you guys can divvy them out however you need to over there. Perfect idea. All right. So those are the homeless outreach patches so that we can clothe our homeless community in socks. Very, very cool. All right. Also have the Smoky Mountain patch still. I double checked on their website. It's still available. The Isaiah 117 patch. Such a cool organization that they're working with there. And I still love this patch. It's their red and black one that I've never seen them in all red and black. So very cool. But hit up Smoky Mountain, boys, to grab one of these guys, the 7th anniversary Isaiah 117 patches. And then also, this will probably be the last week that I mentioned this, only because for general purposes, I just do 3 or 4 weeks, try 2 on these. Bearded Villains, Severed Sirs, North Carolina, their original first ever printed chapter patch. Get it, grab it, good. Yes, $12. Hit them up. Go out and grab one of those. Also, this is the last chance for this shirt as well. The Bearded Villains Los Angeles LA Fire Support Tee. LA Fire Support Tee. It is a pre-order and it is ending tomorrow. The order goes in on the 1st. All right. So that means that you have tonight. That means you have tonight if you want to get out there and grab one of these support tees. Money's going to support the all the fires, the rebuilding and whatnot of all the fires and everybody that's been affected by the fires. So get out there and grab the LA Fire Support Tee. $30. It's on pre-order until tomorrow. The order goes in tomorrow. Hit them up for that. And yeah, I don't know if there's any more of these yet. I haven't heard it. I didn't get a confirmation back from Mars yet. So this collab patch thing that they were doing, I haven't been able to get a confirmation from him whether or not they're still out there and available. But hey, go out there if you want to and see, because anytime you can buy a patch and then be put into a raffle for another thing, that's a cool deal. $13 for this patch, and Lakeshore has been killing patches for a long time. These big, very detailed patches. They love those. And man, this collab patch is very cool. So anytime, yeah, get on it. Hit them up. Hit them up. Hit them up. All right. Well, that's the merch I got for right now. That's all the merch that is the merch right now. So, as I said, hit us up and we'll get you set if you want to do a bulk order for the patches. I would love for somebody overseas to grab the last bit that we do have. That would be awesome. You can share them over there, because hey, if there's one of you over there that wants them, chances are there's at least 10 or 15 of all of the brothers that are over there that would love to have one, but they're afraid of the shipping cost, right? But once they're over there on your side of the world, the shipping cost has got to be drastically less for an individual to purchase. So I am totally fine if one of you want to buy or grab them and then sell them over there to the brothers over there. Absolutely, we can as long as they're getting them in the hands of the people that want them, right? I think that's most important. Cheers. All right, so I mentioned, and I'm going to share this. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I'm going to bring him back on next week, but I do want to play at least a significant snippet of this very, very cool song that came across. And it's funny, as a singer myself, I know that when One Brotherhood, One Ship came out several years ago now, 6 years ago now, is it? 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. Man, it was a very cool thing. And you started listening to it and you're like, man, that really, the words, man, they do a really good job of describing what the Brotherhood's about and whatnot. And then you start thinking, like, as a musician for myself, and I use the term musician very loosely. I like to sing and that's it. Can't really play any instrumentation. But, you start to think, hey, could I ever do something like that? Could I ever put my own twist on something like that? And yeah, you think about ideas, but then you very quickly run into a roadblock of ideas because it all feels like it's the same, right? It feels like you're saying the same thing all the time. And then it's like, well, who's going to listen to that? But, I mean, Tor came up with something over there. And very, very cool. So without further ado, I am going to jump in and we're going to share this very, very cool song. All right. You got to do it. Got to play it. So, without further ado, I'm going to play this here song. Very, very cool. I love it. I'm going to play a bit of the song for my brother over in Norway. Here we go. Can you hear it now? Can you hear me or the music? What do you think? Can you only hear me? See, you try to do something different and it blows up in my face, apparently. So as soon as somebody tells me what they can or can't hear, I'll fix it. I'll fix this. Yes. Yes doesn't tell me anything, Rob. Yes. Which do you hear? Do you hear me or do you hear the microphone? Or do you hear the microphone or the music or both? Can only hear you now. Okay. Could you hear the music at all at any time? Because I have a workaround here and I'm going to do it this way. Because I want to share this because I like it and I thought it was very cool. So I'm going to figure out a way to make this work and play. But so what I'm going to do is all right, let's see what we can do here. All right, now here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of a thing on my system that will not let you play it, let you hear it. What happens if I do this? Somebody quickly give me a thumbs, a yes or a no if you can hear this. If I share this audio here, try this. Let's see. Can you hear this? There's more audio coming through now. Can anyone hear any music? Nope. Okay. Well, I have no idea, folks. I don't know what to tell you. Go out. I guess go out to the interwebs and go out to YouTube. I have no idea I have no idea because it's coming right through my soundboard. And when I play this back in audio, it'll probably pop up. I don't know if there's some issue with the streaming software or what that says, no, I don't want to let you play that. I have no idea. So I'll have to do a little research and figure out why that might be. I wish I could tell you. Well, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. Go out there and find that song, and I'll see what I can do to share the link to it here. Let's see if I can put it in the chat for you, because it is actually on YouTube as well. It's just a static photo, but let's see if this works. I don't know. It's in there, but don't listen to it until after the show. So save that link. Save that link. All right. So here's the deal. I talked a little bit about at the very, very outset about what I wanted, the in this time right now and the way things are going. I wanted us to really be focused on positivity. Positivity. And in this world right now and everything that's going on, it seems like that's really hard for us to do. It seems like it's very hard for us to do. We're being pulled in 18 different directions, and 90% of them feel like they're negative energy all the time. And we're not doing ourselves a positive service right now either. I don't think. I don't think we're doing enough. I don't think we're doing enough for our brotherhood to push the positive, to push the positive. So often right now, I think we're so afraid of sharing all of the positivity that might be going on in our lives because we're afraid that maybe it may feel like we're bragging or something like that. But one of the things that I think that this brotherhood is great for and should be great for is for us to be able to celebrate the victories, even the small victories in the lives of our brothers, right? You want to be there for each other. You want to be there to celebrate the victories just as much as you want to be there in those times of sadness and tragedy and everything else. Yeah, we always think that those are the times we need to be there. But I think sometimes we forget that we need to be our own champions for each other as well, right? We need to be out there championing our own lives with each other. And sometimes that means celebrating even the smallest little victories, because those kind of things make a difference. Those kind of things make a difference. If all we ever really talk about, or the only thing that we ever come together for is the negative, to show support for somebody who's having some bad situation go on. If that's the only time that we're really coming together to outwardly go out of our way to show support for each other, then we're doing ourselves a big disservice, I think. And so it seems like I've noticed, and I've talked about this a little bit over the last, couple of months, that it feels like there's less of us talking right now. And it could be for a variety of reasons. I know that there's a bunch of people that are talking less now that we're over that the official communications are over on Discord. And it seems like if you're like me, I still not comfortable with it, with the Discord thing, because I got so used to Line after all that time. And so now it feels like we have some people over here, but very few people are at both places. And that in Line, that creates a communication lapse. And sometimes then, if people feel that this communication space is negative energy, this communication space is kind of blah energy, then where do you really go? Are people flocking back to Facebook? I don't know. Or are they finding someplace else? Are we going out to X? Are we going out to some other social media place? I don't know. But it feels like it's just Groundhog Day. That's why I put that on the thumbnail. It feels like it's just Groundhog Day. Where if you've ever seen the movie Groundhog Day, where it's Groundhog Day over and over and over and over again, the same thing happens every single day. It's over and over and over again. It feels like that. It feels like sometimes I'm talking about the same things over and over and over again. It feels like we're living through the same things over and over and over again. It feels like we're having the same arguments over and over and over again. And I wish that we can get to a point where we just focus on life. We stop bitching and moaning about who did what, who didn't do what, and we just focus on life. We just focus on the positivity. We're going to have tragedies. We're going to have sadness. We're going to have bad things that happen, and we know that. And when that happens, we'll be there for each other. But we have to be there for each other in the good times too. And we have to be unafraid to share the positivity. We have to be unafraid to say, hey, look what our chapter's doing. This is really cool. Without fear that you're going to be ridiculed or thought less than because you're happening to share what's really cool going on in your chapter or in your own personal life. I mean, it's crazy that we've gotten to this point. And sometimes I consider myself to be one of the most positively outlook people in the world. I have such a positive outlook on things sometimes it annoys people. Right? I'm that guy. I'm that guy that's always looking for the positive. I'm always looking for what could come of this. I refuse to be that person that is always down in the dumps looking at the negative. I don't like to think about the what ifs and all the, well, if this happens, oh no, this is going to happen. It's wasted energy. And a lot of times it just tears you down for no reason because you're thinking about something that could happen before it happens. And why worry about that? I'd rather focus on what is right now. And how can we make today better? Every day. How can we make today better? Each individual day. Yeah, we don't want to live for all of the future, but you need to live for the day. Get through each day. Find something positive in each day. And yeah, you're going to have those days where you start out in the morning and you spill your coffee. You get in the morning, you get out of your car first thing in the morning, you step in a mud puddle. And those things happen to me too. And I'm not saying you need to live your life like me. Far be it for me to say that. But I will say this. There's so many times that a day has started out like that. You drop something, you spill something, you step in something. It's one of those days, right? And my first thought in my head when stuff like that happens is like, well, if that's the worst thing that happens today, I'm in good shape. Yeah, it's frustrating now, but hey, your day can only get better, right? I mean, we live in a world where there's so much negativity going on in and out of BV circles. I'm not just talking about BV. I'm talking about life. But we live in a world that is so negative. It's easy to find. Finding the negativity in your life or that could affect your life or could potentially pull you into it, it's easy to find. You don't have to look hard. But sometimes finding the positive is hard, especially when those days start out that way. So I don't know. It feels like sometimes, and I look at the line chats, I look at the Discord chats, and sometimes I just want to shake my phone. I wish it were like a snow globe where I could just shake the thing and wake people up a little bit. Show me some positivity. You know, not everything's negative. Some of the chats are, boy, whew. I mean, some of the chats are. That's all they ever are. Bitching and moaning. And you can choose to not be a part of those chats. That's fine. I feel bad. I feel bad for some of our brothers who all they do is bitch and moan. I feel bad for those people that they don't seem happy unless they're tearing somebody else down. I feel bad for those brothers out there that are talking bad about BV all the time. It feels like that's all they ever really want to talk about. I feel bad for those people who live by somebody else's misery. And I don't understand that. You have got to be so miserable to live life that way. It's Groundhog Day. Over and over and over again. How do you live that way? And I'm not talking about people that are going through mental struggles, mental health struggles. That's a completely different thing. Don't confuse what I'm saying. But as a general rule, I want us to be, and I'm not saying we need to be on cloud nine, super happy all the time. But I just wish that the energy was there. I wish that there was some excitement for things in general, life in general. We go through this thing once, folks. We go around this world. We go through this life once. And we don't know when it's going to end. And I would much rather spend my time talking about positivity, spending my life happy and positive rather than focused on all the crap that's not good. Focused on all the who's doing what to who and wrong. I just can't do it. It's negative space. It's seeping. It's seeping through people's pores. And you can feel it. You can see it. It's insanity. It's Groundhog Day over and over and over again. Sometimes it's the same people saying the same thing every single day. Don't they get tired of it? Do you, I don't understand. I'm confused. It's like they're out. It's like the people that are doing these kind of things are out there constantly just scrolling the interwebs for negative space. What can I find to bitch about today? What can I find to tell the world is wrong with the world today? Who can I find to bitch about today? I mean, it's all over every single day, time and time again. Well, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm just confused, I guess. It's energy I can't understand. Rob says social media is a mirror to the soul. If all you create is misery, then you are in need of some healing with yourself. Yeah. I agree with that. I don't have it. I don't have it in me to understand that. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't ever complain about anything. I do plenty of that. But it's there for a minute and it's back. It's gone. I might complain about a certain situation for that what it is. But then you quickly realize that if that's the worst thing that happens in your day, if that's the worst thing, why do you need to focus on that energy? I might react to something. But why would you need to spend your whole day or even part of your day on all of that? Focus on what you have going well in your life. Focus on what's going good within the lives of the people that you do want to be around. And say the hell with everything else. There's no need. There's no need for it. I mean, sometimes I feel like some people are doing it just for looks. They're doing it just to get attention. They're doing it just to see if that's shock value. Just to see who's going to be like, whoa, look what so-and-so did today. But that's why it feels like Groundhog Day to me. It feels like every time you look at one space, you look at one social media platform, you read something, and it's always negativity. Social media, boy, life was so much easier before social media. Life was so much easier and so much happier because we had to be with people. I can only hope. You know how they say, clothing trends, and there's always trends that come up and down. They come back. It's a big circle. Eventually, bell-bottom jeans are going to come back around again, right? Eventually, velour tracksuits are going to come back around again. It's these things are trends, and they're called trends for a reason, right? And I can only hope that there's going to be some cycle that happens in the world where people finally realize that social media is not the thing and that people need to start going out and saying hi to people again. And people need to get out of their phones, get out of their tablets, get out of their computers, and actually meet some people and actually have face-to-face conversations with people. And that it's okay to disagree with people. and not hate people. That's the one thing I will say about politics growing up, right? Growing up, you could have a differing political viewpoint from people and you still could be friends. It didn't make you absolutely hate that person because of their political viewpoints. You could still be friends. Now it seems like it's kill or be killed, eat or be eaten because of your political viewpoints. And I don't understand that at all. And yes, I can still be friendly with brothers who are no longer in active chapters of BV. I can, but I don't agree with or share with the negativity that they share. And I've noticed that I've become more distant with those brothers, the ones that feel like it's always negative space. Groundhog Day. It's back. It's here. It's literally 2 days away, but it feels like that's all we're living in right now. Groundhog Day. Same thing over and over and over again. We're having the same arguments. We're having the same complaints. And I just wish that we could get past it. Get past it, recognize and see that, okay, we're not going to agree with this. We're not going to agree on this thing. Right? You don't have to agree with everybody on things. And it doesn't mean that you have to be enemies because of it. Let's get back to that. I could still break bread and have a drink with a brother that I disagree with. Let's get back to that. Groundhog Day. It's here. It's been here. It's over and over and over again, and I'm tired of it. I want the positive energy back. And I don't think it's to blame it or lay it on on one or two people's feet is right. That's not where it's coming from. It's a collective. It's a collective effort. And it's an effort. That's the thing. You have to try. The negativity, the negative energy that's out there, it doesn't just exist. You have to find it. You have to create it. You have to create it. And it's not just one or two people that's doing it. It's a collective energy that is being created and it's perpetuated. And there's a lot of people whose feet it's laid at. It's not just one person. Let's get back to the positivity. Let's get back to celebrating each other, celebrating our lives, celebrating the things that are going on, celebrating the lives that we're changing and being changed by. Let's focus on that instead of Groundhog Day. Let's do it. Let's find it. I don't want to harp too much longer on it, but hey, let's get rid of Groundhog Day. I just want Groundhog Day to be one day a year, and that's February 2nd here in the States, and we'll see a little rodent come out of its little dungeon, and we'll claim that it's going to be either 6 more weeks of winter or 6 more weeks till spring or whatever it's going to be, and just be happy with that. But I'm tired of living Groundhog Day out year-round or for 6 or 8 months at a time. Yeah. I'm tired of that part of it. Bob says we are allowing and permitting people to spread a negative vibe when there are plenty of people more capable than I who can change it. Well, but you know what? We all have that voice. We all have the ability to change it. And I don't think that changing it is going to happen because of people that are outspoken about it. I think that the way to change it is just you exist. I think the negativity, the negative vibe, I think that that's going to change only because people refuse to live that way. I don't think that there needs to be people standing up and evoking a positive spirit. I don't think it has to be that. I just think it has to be a feeling. Every time I'm around this person, I feel good. Every time I'm around this person, it's positive energy. And more people that way. More and more of that. I mean, I could follow anybody, sure. Give me a positive person, I'm going to follow them, sure. But I don't think we need to depend on, nor should we have to, on any one or two people or a handful of people to stand up and be the example. We just need to do it ourselves. We need to depend on ourselves to be that example. And by that nature, by being the example, we don't have to stand up on a pedestal, but just by the way we live, right? By the way we live and interact with others, it sets a tone. It'll set a tone for it. And I think that's what we should focus on. That's what we need to do. Those of you who didn't come up with a one-word challenge for 2025, make that it. How about that? If you didn't have one for 2025, make positivity be your word, right? Do that. Let's do that for sure. Whether you're navigating the rugged terrain of the great outdoors or conquering the concrete jungle of the urban landscape, Bigfoot Beard Company has you covered. Bigfoot products are made with natural ingredients designed to help maintain a healthy, rich beard without leaving it feeling greasy and heavy. From classic cologne-inspired fragrances to fruity notes and earthy tones, there's sure to be a scent for every occasion. With worldwide shipping available, why not take an opportunity to walk on the wild side? Head over to Bigfoot Beard Company today. That's www.bigfootbeardco.com. Again, that's www.bigfootbeardco.com. All right, guys. Hey, you know what? Let's just leave it at that. I don't want this episode to become a version of Groundhog Day where it's over and over and over again. I think we've said enough. I think I've expressed my concerns for it enough to say that, hey, let's just bring the positivity. Let's get out there. Let's celebrate the lives of each other. Let's celebrate the small victories, the small and big victories that we have. Celebrate the things that our chapters are doing and not focus on the things that we're not doing. Let's not focus on the things that BV is not doing. Let's not focus on the things that some of our other brothers are not doing. Let's focus on what we are doing and leave it positive. That's a good way to end it. Guys, I'm going to leave you with that on this Friday night. I want to challenge you all to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Most important words I say every week, guys. Please remember them well. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. Well, guys, for now, have a great night. We'll see you back next week for episode 240. Go out there and check out that song I put in the chat, or go to the main BV page. It's in a story. You can listen to it there. Until then, guys, have a great night. Be safe. Take care. Stay safe.
Heart of a villain, bro. Lights, camera, action. From the start to the finish.